What type of AI tools are you using and for what functions? Have you evaluated any of the new AI ML tools for sourcing, and if so, what? We are, well, you may know a few years ago we started with Jarvis that switched to Jasper, which we used for some levels of content. Now we're using Chat GPT in about 40 different ways just in the recruiting industry, but not specifically for sourcing. I know that there's a few, everything from Celestial to Hire Easy that have AI sourcing tools in there. I haven't evaluated any of them.
Right. Now, I launched a poll, and I'll share the results with you guys in just a few moments. We're going to leave this open because only about 15% of you have responded at this point. But I would like to say that the largest response at this moment is, what is Chat GPT? Okay, so we're going to give you a little bit. It is, let me just candidly tell you, it is the greatest piece of technology I've ever put hands on in my life. It is the greatest piece of technology I've ever put hands on. Okay?
I like my car more personally, but what it can do is, the short version is it's an AI, it's a language model AI, and while that makes people think of content writing, it can do an awful lot in terms of data sorting, coding. There are APIs being built into it which allows it to interact with other programs. Now, all of this seems like it's kind of fun, and it's being brought to us by Microsoft, is the largest, overall person, entity that is contributing to the development of this AI. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, at various times. It's about $20 a month for the upgraded version right now. That's the Plus version. It's free for the, beta test. Go out there and just use it.
What we can do is basically put in a page of instructions, whether it's for a job posting or a sourcing strategy or subject lines for emails or an entire cadence for business development or recruiting or a candidate presentation. Like, I can literally put my fast formula in, copy the person's resume, paste it, copy the person's LinkedIn profile, paste it,
copy my notes
and paste it, and then hit the enter button, and it will write my entire candidate presentation. Like, I've just never seen anything quite like this.
Now, knowing exactly how to talk to an AI to get the results out of it, The Atlantic just had an article I read today on this being the one of the number one tools of this century is to be able to communicate with these AIs well. But we've taken the guesswork out of that. We have just pre-written it so you have to say very little to the AI. Now, I will want to give you a few answers for questions about it that are coming in through QA. So Kelly asked, what are the character limitations? It's not exactly character limitations, it's word segments, which isn't also the same thing as words. So some words are one word segment, some words are more than one word segment, and then you have commands and stuff like that in there. And the answer to the total number of word segments is, I believe, 10,048 is what it will spit out at a time, but you can feed it much more than that data to start.
You can,
I think you can feed it like the equivalent of about 12 pages.
Right. So a couple of other questions that came in. First, Josh, let me just share your comment. Josh said it doesn't only do that, but I had it write some code for a Linux GTK Plus application a week ago, and it worked like a charm. It absolutely writes code. Now, I will tell you, some of the code it writes, not great code, okay?
But better than what I can write, because I'm not a coder.
Right, better than what I can write too.
Susan asked, will it do search strings? Absolutely.
Yes.
I've pre-built fast formula for it to write search strings. I've got ones where it goes and does our base LinkedIn search. And what's great about it, one of the things that I did in a test run with it is I had it build the search string from my parameters that I'd preloaded, but I said, give me, locations throughout the Silicon Valley. And what it did appropriately was give me an OR statement of all of the locations. And I was even able to say, I would like to expand that into a greater distance, include a farther range of cities. And that's all it took. I didn't have to go to a map. I didn't have to go to zip codes or anything else. I didn't have to figure it out. It just spit out the or statement with all the appropriate cities in it. So there's things like that it'll do that it's not that a human can't, but a human has to take multiple steps to look it up and write it down and hopefully not have any spelling errors.
Right. I've also done it where I grabbed a list of 10 companies and I put the 10 companies into Chat GPT and instructed it to write them into an or statement for me and quote any of the companies that were more than one name or more than one word, right? So that I could keep those words together. And it did it beautifully. Okay.
Emily has asked, what is the difference between the free and the paid version? The free version is free, and the paid version, while $20, gives you a little more uptime. Now, what I mean by this is it is a server that millions of people. It is the fastest growing sign up technology in history. To 100 million users.
100 million users in under 60 days and 1 million unique users in the first 6 days. There has never been a technology released into the world that has had this rapidly of adoption.
So what that means in the free version is you often run into servers at capacity and you can't get in. If you use it a lot, it might happen multiple times a day. Now with the paid version, I've had it happen for a couple hours on one day since I bought it, 10 days ago, 8 days ago, something like that. So I certainly have had times where there's when it's not up for me, but instead I've had a lot less of them.
Right, me too. Like we're both on the paid version. I'll tell you, since I started using it, I'm not sure if a day has gone by that I haven't used it for something. Like it's a really, really amazing tool.
Right, I even have it, constantly open in a tab on my phone as, basically to show people more than anything, some of what it can do. So, and right now we talked a little bit about the paid version, $20 a month for Plus. I believe they're teasing Pro at about double that cost.
They sure are. All right, so Lee had a comment here. Lee said, Chat GPT is great, but all it really does is make things convenient for lazy people.
Heck yes.
Right, it does
so do
do
light
that.
bulbs.
Right, whatever it produces, be it job descriptions, email solicitations, search strings, it offers no originality, no creativity, and nothing new. It only regurgitates what's come before. Lee, you are 100% accurate. If you don't know how to modify the internal settings of Chat GPT, which we do know how to do and teach you.
Yeah, I think that one of the things, even how they typically show Chat GPT use, which is very simple prompts, kind of like what we did a little bit ago with the job description. You will get regurgitated. Basically what it's doing is it's playing Mad Libs and it's giving you the words that it thinks are the most likely to go next, period. That's what it's doing. It's a language model. Now we can make it give us less likely words, but we can also feed it the originality in the original prompt. That's a lot of the point of fast formulas. We want to make it so that what's not coming out is AI surface level nonsense, which is, let's face it, what it will generically do without a little push.
I want you to think about it in terms of sourcing. It is so similar to sourcing. If I go out and I just write a really generic search string, I'm just gonna get generic candidates. But if I can apply my creativity to the way that I'm sourcing and the selection of my keywords, the way that I instruct Google to function, then I'm gonna get much better candidates. And ChatGPT is the exact same thing. You have to apply a fair amount of creativity to it to get really high quality output. But I will tell you, there are detectors out there already, ChatGPT detectors.
General AI, because there's a lot of AI content creation that's been going on. Jarvis wasn't the first, but rewind back 2 years ago, and that's what we were using. So it's been around for a while. There are detectors.
Here's what we're able to do. Through the fast formulas and the way that we instruct the artificial intelligence, we're able to get it to write at a capacity that comes back from a detector as 100% human with no modifications to it. That is amazing, but you have to know how to query it. You have to know what to say to it. You have to speak to it in its language, which I am very fortunate to have Jason, who speaks computer, and he has been remarkable at building out these page-long instruction formulas that you paste in before you put in whatever your data is. So,
and frankly, I actually hired a person this week. I shouldn't say we hired a person this week, Jeff. I don't know if Jeff is here. In fact,
Jeff is here.
Yay.
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff is our AI bully. He has joined us in the past week. If there's anybody that can help you make this do what it's gonna do, it's me, it's Trisha, or it's Jeff. Like the idea of an AI bully, we even wrestled around with the term AI wrangler. It's this ability to get the AI to do exactly what you want it to do, so that what you don't get is the convenience of blandness for lazy people. But I do want to make a big shout out to all the tools that make life convenient for lazy people. First and foremost, I'm gonna go with my car because I do not like walking everywhere. I've got a place I'm going to today that's 35 miles away. Love the car, very convenient. I love lights. I get to turn them on instead of lighting a candle or 20 of them when I walk into a room. Lazy, things that make it convenient for lazy people is really how we have moved into society instead of being cavemen. So yay for not having to slaughter an animal to wear clothing.
There you go.